Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and finally Celtic are back in action. How good does it feel? League football returns, which means what also returns is the Three Things We Learned series, my post-match reviews. We're here for the season, boys. And the first one, not too bad. A 2-0 win against Aberdeen as the league flag was raised at Celtic Park. Let's talk all about it in a very quick sort of recap of today's game. I understand it's quite late. These half four Sunday kickoffs, they're not exactly ideal. So let's try and get this done and dusted. Before we go any further with the video, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Yes, we've got one more day. This is your last chance to enter the kit giveaway. I will be announcing the winner tomorrow. Don't know how yet. Probably keep an eye on my Twitter, and if you're in the competition, you'll see who wins it there. So you can check that out tomorrow, but it's your last chance. The link will be in the top line of the description. You have to subscribe to the channel as well, remember, to make sure you have a chance of winning. So if you haven't pressed that button already, then make sure to do it, and let's start off 22-23 with some positivity after a 2-0 win. So, yeah, I'm going to say do this as quickly as I possibly can today and not keep you up all night. If you want to see them live this season, let me know. I don't mind doing them live. It actually kind of helps me out, you know, instead of having to rush the editing process and all the rest of it. So let me know what you prefer, if you prefer the recorded format, the live format. But Celtic won 2-0 today at Celtic Park in the opening game of our campaign, and it starts us off nicely with a clean sheet and 2 goals. What a day, by the way. What an atmosphere. Flag Day is always brilliant. Of course, we missed out on it last year, but it felt like normality has picked up. You know, we've had all the COVID nonsense, the pandemic, and the phased return to normality, but that felt like proper normality. You get used to the Flag Days, and today's was a very special one. Indeed, the stadium looked brilliant with the full stadium display. From my seat, I could only see one stand, but if you've seen the photos and videos, or you watched on the television, and you've seen the whole thing, you'll know how good it was. What a display. Congrats and well done to everybody involved, the North Curve, who sorted it, and if you donated to the cause as well, because it made for a cracking atmosphere. The voices were loud. It was brilliant. It felt like a part. It was like we picked up where we left off on Trophy Day in the end of last season, with Flag Day at the start of this season. It just felt like one big party. It's continued on through the summer, and the atmosphere at Celtic is brilliant. Now, I know there's a couple of things we've not touched on yet. We'll probably touch on this week on the channel, to do with the backroom and to do with Ian Banker leaving the club and the potential return of Peter Lawwell, which has a lot of people concerned, rightfully so. So there is those little bits that are annoying still, but generally the atmosphere at the club is incredibly positive amongst the fans, and today was a real sort of nod to that, a highlight of that, with how good it was. So brilliant atmosphere from the first whistle, and yeah, we got the job done. Brilliant performance again from Celtic. Look, well, I wouldn't say brilliant. It was pretty, you know, standard stuff. We got the job done. We won at home. You'd expect us to do so. It wasn't like we've blown them away and scored 5 or 6 like those performances that we see from time to time. But we were really good. Aberdeen didn't threaten us at all, really. I don't remember Aberdeen really getting a chance in the game that kind of threatened us or had me worried or such. The only negative of the game was it was 1-0 for so long. I hate only being 1-0 up, because all it takes is one dodgy call, one dodgy corner, a ball in the box to treacle its way into the back of the net, and suddenly you're staring at the eyes of drop points. But we played really well throughout the game. We held them you know, into their own half. And we were playing some really nice stuff. The movement was fantastic. We'll touch on the way we always do this. First half, then second half. Yes, that would make sense. First half, I thought we were really good. We were playing some nice stuff. The movement of the ball was brilliant. I think that the only thing that we were lacking was that efficiency in the final third, and that was continuous throughout the game. I thought that we were doing things so well until we got to the final third, and we were maybe doing a bit too much, or we were overthinking, or we just couldn't quite make the last pass. And part of that was down to the fact that Aberdeen did defend reasonably well throughout the game. I thought they set up decent. A positive side for Jim Goodwin's mob. But, like, you know, I feel like we could have done a little bit better, a wee bit more efficient in the final third at times to get a shot away, or making a better pass, or looking for a better option. I felt like we maybe held on to it a little bit too much, but up until that point in the park, we were taking the mickey out of Aberdeen at points with the way we were moving the ball. Silky smooth, players moving into the right pockets of space, good movement between the wings. Jota would be on the left, next minute he'd be on the right, the old Lenny flipped the winger. You know, everything was just looking so nice. Aesthetically, it was very pleasing on the eye, and we were defensively sound as well. You know, we'd never had any worries, any quarrels. I thought Stephen Welsh had a brilliant performance at the back today, a real sign of improvement. So first thing we've learned is, and this is the first one I wanted to bring up, I think Stephen Welsh staying at the club, big win from Ange there. Ange didn't want to sell him. We apparently rejected a £3.5 million offer from Toulouse for Stephen Welsh, which a lot of people were saying, wow, turning that money down for Welsh. But we are in a position we don't have a lot of centre-back depth. We've just signed Moritz Jens, and I don't think we want to be in a position where we want to go and sign another centre-half. And especially when Welsh is putting in a performance like that, you know, he's someone that you can turn to when you need to bring on a centre-half. And when Starfelt's injured and you need somebody, Welsh is a decent enough option. I've been very critical of Welsh his whole time at the club. I've always wondered if he's good enough or not. But in these league games, when you're calling upon somebody to fill in a gap for a game or two, I think that he's sound enough for that. And Ange obviously sees something in the player if he's knocking back £3.5 million to keep him around. And I think it was a big summer for him. And I think you can see that in his performance today. I'm not going to suddenly turn around and say, oh, he's the best thing from sliced bread and reverse everything that I've ever said about him. But what I will say is there has been improvement. And he got that opening goal. Touch on that. Brilliant. Scored from a corner. Yes. Scored from a corner. You wouldn't believe if you didn't. Yeah, we scored from a corner. Yeah, I'm knowing. Yep, we did. Yep. Ball in, Welsh on the end of it. Fantastic connection. Puts it beyond the keeper. I was stunned, sitting there in my seat thinking, well, standing after he scored, thinking, what the hell is going on here? You know, it's unlike us to be scoring from corner kicks. And Welsh has scored a few now from corners. I think that's his third or fourth that I can remember in recent years where he's winning headers from an offensive situation of a corner, and he scored from it. You know, if someone can do it, then keep him around, because we need that. We don't have enough of it at this club. We don't score from corners regularly, and that's one thing we've always sort of missed. And it was nice to see that one going back in the day. It was a brilliant way to start the game. I think it was like 5 minutes in. It was right on top of the opening atmosphere as well, which really piled it on. I think it shook Aberdeen a little bit, and they held on well throughout the first half, but we just had a full grip of it after that. You know, we weren't really worrying. We weren't looking back. Midfield, I thought we looked really good. Now, one thing I will say about the first half performance was a couple of times I noticed the difficulties that we had in guarding that back line through the lack of a central defensive midfielder. Now, that's not a dig at Cal McGregor. I thought Cal McGregor was brilliant again today, as always, but there was a couple of occasions where he committed himself high up the park, as he would like to, and it kind of left us in a situation where he had to trail back, or a defender had to come across and fill in the gap that was there in that part of the park. Now, I'm not going to rush now and say that we need to change our system or anything like that, but I think it's a nod to maybe saying, yeah, we still should bring in a central defensive midfielder, somebody who can fill in that role when we need it. McGregor, the midfield's not going to change. I think it's always going to stay McGregor, Hatate and O'Reilly as the first choice and the strongest three. But I think it's just one of those situations from today's games that reiterated to me that I would like a central defensive midfielder. You know what I mean? But no, first half, brilliant. Seen it out in style. We could have had a couple more. We probably should have had a couple more. Kyogo had a really good chance on the end of a cross. It went wide. Just maybe came in a little bit too soon for him. And yeah, we were right on top of Aberdeen. There was not much to worry about. One thing I hate about this new camera is the height. I need to get like a higher chair. They can't lower it. It physically can't go any lower. But I feel like I'm dead, like this in the frame. How funny is that? Like, anyway, second half once again went out, got the job done, and it was good to get the rotation in. It was good to get players get them minutes in the legs in a professional sort of environment. The likes of Aaron Moy, who didn't have much to do and didn't really do much when he came on. But aside from that, getting Turnbull on, getting Abad on, Giacomakis, they all looked raring to go and they all looked hungry, and it's such a good position we're in right now, in that way that we can bring on these quality players. Nobody in this league, nobody, and that includes the big opposition, nobody can match the quality that we're bringing off the bench. Giacomakis, Abada, David Turnbull, that three alone. I think the other two were Ralston and Moy today, obviously, and even Ralston, you can't match that. No team can. I don't care what anybody says, and that's not a dig at Rangers. They just don't have the same quality to come off the bench. Got good players, don't get me wrong, but not that amount of quality. And that's a really good position that Celtic are in right now through smart transfer windows and through smart recruitment that Ange has done in this rebuild job that he's had at Celtic. So it was good to see everybody get their minutes. Second goal, oh wow, terrific. What a goal from Jota. It's brilliant stuff. This is number 2 out of the 3 things we've learned. Jota is just a special kind of talent. And I'll say that week in, week out until the day he leaves this club. I can't say it enough. Just repeat myself in saying it. But nobody matches his quality in this league. Unbelievable. That finish today was spectacular. And that's what I like. I said this in pre-season, if you remember watching the watch-alongs. I want to see us take more opportunities from outside the area when there is space. Because in the first half, I thought we were doing too much. We couldn't really find the final bit of the puzzle when we were moving forward. But when you get somebody shooting like that, and it finds the back of the net, you think, wow, can do that more often. I'm not saying just start shooting willy-nilly for the sake of it, but there are times where I feel like we can be a little bit more assertive when we're going forward and we have opportunities from outside the area. And Jota took that today, and he took it. He's just, what a player. That's all I can say. What a player. And thing number 3, and the 3 things I've learned to wrap up a shot of one today, we're back, baby. We're back. That's it. That's all I need to say. So good. And we look good still. Everything's positive. Oh, it's just brilliant. I love it. Look at me. Big smile on my face. Can't I wipe it? Celtic Park. Brilliant. Bring on Ross County next week. No midweek games for a while. So we'll be here through the week with whatever news we have. We'll probably touch on the big breaking Bankier and Lawwell stuff and that tomorrow or whatever. We'll have a podcast. That's that next thing. So yeah, that'll do it for today. A great win for Celtic. Man of the match was Jota. I thought Greg Taylor was brilliant today. I thought it was every player. You know, it wasn't a bad shift in the park. Wasn't a bad shift in the park. Anyway, that'll do it. Brilliant. Like and subscribe. See y'all next time.